what I wouldn't mind dabbling into, gentlemen, here, it was teased on our pregame show. Gotta love those Atlanta Falcons. Desmond Ridder has not been good this year, but was good when it mattered. And the Atlanta Falcons taking care of your boys here in Arizona. Let's check out our Texans tracker. We've had 2 weeks without a Monty Austin-Ford smiling head. We are back. Look at that sweet, sweet man. Getting a dub today are the Atlanta Falcons over the Houston Texans. And BG, CJ Stroud's very good. He should have had a game-winning touchdown. That Texans defense, though, not so good. Cardinals are back in business with Houston at 2-3.
They are. And looking at this schedule, CJ Stroud could have a really, over the next 4 or 5 weeks, could have a really good day.
Yes.
Which is not great for the Monty tracker. Right. But, I mean, I just don't see I don't see them losing to the Panthers for sure. The Saints are very beatable.
Yeah.
And, I mean, hopefully, by the time they get to us, we can, wipe the floor with them.
We know we're not going to get any favors, Bo Brock, from our friends out in Denver with the way they're playing now. But looking at this tracker, Bo Brock, give me your most realistic, best case scenario for Houston where they end up this year. Because, again, we talked about it before you jumped on. Like, even with the Cardinals struggles, it doesn't feel like Cardinals are going to end up with a top 2 pick. I could be wrong. Houston, for sure, is not going to be in a position to get the Cardinals, a position to draft Caleb Williams or Drake Maye. So looking at this right now, put a wager, or put a prediction, I should say, on the Texans' final record this year based off of this.
Man, let me talk about the power of prayer here. I mean, when you look at this schedule, holy
football
crap.
gods.
I mean, you got to look like the Saints got to take care of business next week. Then the bye week, you think, like Britton said, dub against Carolina, and then Tampa Bay, who's surprised a couple people this year. Can they continue to that? Can this Bengals team get back on track? Can the Cardinals steal one? And then the Jaguars play like they're expected to, like they did in London today. That stretch there, that middle stretch, when you look at our Texans tracker here on YouTube, that middle stretch is where they're going to be able to need to stack losses for this pick to really be as premium as we originally thought. Because then you look at it, Tennessee and Indianapolis, we'll see if Anthony Richardson can make it through the marathon of a season. Hasn't proven to so far early on. A lot of winnable games. So best case, like, can you keep them about 5 in 12? That's about best case, I think, at this point. Don't you think? I mean, and that's being optimistic.
I'm looking at that schedule, and I think, they're going to be hovering around like 7 or 8 wins this year. And that's going to be really nice for them and not so nice for the Cardinals. I think at this point, if you're counting your chips at the craps table in Vegas, you're probably looking at between like pick 10 to about 16, I think is where the Houston Texans are going to be picking in that first round. Still going to get a great player if you're the Arizona Cardinals, but the treasure trove of a once top 10 pick, or top 5 pick, I should say, not dead and buried yet, but it does feel like those days are dwindling away. But the Atlanta Falcons helped us out today, Bo Brock.
Yeah, can I give some hope to our fan base here and say that, hey, the Texans still found a way to lose a game. They haven't lost little knack. They certainly found a way today they let Desmond Ridder get chunk yards to get themselves in a very favorable spot to kick a 37-yard field goal. So at least, a tip of the cap to that. Like, they still have that affinity for finding a way to lose a game at the end of football. As long as they don't come out and do what they did against Jacksonville like a week ago and just dominate that game wire to wire, I think we should have a chance at this one. But like, I'm sitting at the blackjack table, and usually is always the case. My chips are dwindling, and that's what's going on with a top 5 pick for the Cardinals with the Texans pick.